All right, so we're going to answer the question, should you wait to buy your first deal? And I know it's hard out here for a investor that's looking to get started. So stay tuned, because I'm going to give you some insights whether or not you should wait on the sidelines or keep actively pursuing that first one. So I can't say this is a tough question, but one thing I can say is there is still opportunity out there because others are closing. Whether or not that's a good deal or not, we'll have to see in the upcoming years. But for myself, it's been a great time to actually sell due to where we're at in the market. And what I'm doing is just waiting to see prices start to cool down, which slowly but surely they are. Not so much on the multifamily side in the markets that I'm invested in, but I have seen in other markets a slowdown of where a owner would typically list a property for. The broker would say, nah, prices are starting to come down and we're actually not going to be able to get you that. So that is still starting to slowly happen. Oh, these dang mosquitoes. And just realize that you're likely buying at the tippity top, where I believe if we're at the top here, I think we're a little bit on the down term. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not Nostradamus or anything. I don't have the perfect answer. That's just my personal opinion when it comes to that. And just knowing that is, if you need to sell in the next 1 to 2 years and we happen to be in a downturn, that's where you may just have to take a haircut in that case. But long term, you'll be fine, because real estate does go up and to the right. And why I say this is I almost ran into this situation where I was a year and a half into a property and it just did not perform the way I wanted it to perform, and actually had to sell it, and actually got a pretty good price for it, but it was a decent return to the investors. But this is where the market was heating up, and this was in 2019, 2020. However, if it was a different cycle in the downturn and tried to sell that property, likely would have took a haircut on it. So it really does, it's very important where you actually buy deals and where you're at in the cycle, so you don't get caught in the wrong part. And I gotta say, this is to avoid FOMOing into it and forcing yourself into a bad deal. And this is so common, where instead of using logic, people use emotional within their buying decisions. And I'll give you an example of a story of an investor I was working with. Is they were trying to determine whether to keep a property because they had emotional ties to it, whether to refinance or to sell it. And I asked them, hey, let's go ahead and have you run the numbers. And they ran the numbers, and it wasn't even close on to keep the property and to sell it. But one thing I noticed when they ran the numbers, they wanted to paint a rosy picture, and in their cash flow number, it was actually pretty decent, but they didn't take into consideration the repairs and maintenance, the property management, and then also the capital expenditures, because they wanted the deal to look good because they had emotional ties to it. So that's just one experience here I've got to provide to you, because I don't want you getting into the frenzy that, hey, I gotta buy a deal now and I'm going to do whatever it takes. You just got to stick to the fundamentals. And that's all, folks, as Bugs Bunny would say, or I think it's the pig that may say it, or maybe they switch every now and then. But if you've been able to make it this far, go ahead and comment below with 6-9, no pun intended, or all pun intended, however you want to take that. And I do just want to share a quick story that recently happened with me on gratitude. So I went to the dentist, had to get a teeth filling. They got in there and said, hey, it's a little bit more worse than we thought. We're actually going to this is going to be more intensive of a procedure we have to do, which is going to be about 4 to 5 times the cost. And at first I was bummed down that I actually let that tooth get to that. But then I thought that, well, I'm grateful, one, to be alive to actually have this procedure, and then actually, secondly, that I have all of my teeth and they are in the condition that they are in. And then third is that they don't have to actually pull the tooth. So it could be worse, but still having that gratitude at the end of the day really is just a good way to, rephrase or reframe. That's what I was thinking of. I had to, of course, put this little edit in there to fix that, but that's what I was looking for. So Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.